Welcome to the DealNews Seller's Guide. Today we'll compare our readers' shopping trends in March 2019 and March 2020, which could help you figure out what products to list in March 2021. What items were more popular during one year versus the other? According to the tech company Adobe, March 2020 marked a mass migration to online. This increase in online shopping was no surprise, given that a lot of stay-at-home orders went into effect that month. 2020 wasn't a normal year after all, of course, but looking at the products that were popular with DealNews readers last March could help marketplace sellers decide what to sell this March. And we just covered these products in our edition called The 10 Best Items to Sell Online in March 2021. Make sure to check it out. People's shopping priorities around this time may have differed from those during an average year, though, so we looked at what was popular with our readers in March 2019, too. Keep listening to learn how shopping trends during that month compared with those in March 2020. Plus, we'll tell you what products would be best to sell later in 2021. Let's begin with this question. Were the best things to sell online different in March 2019? The coronavirus pandemic likely guided many of our readers' shopping decisions in March 2020 and throughout the rest of the year as well. So we examined our shopping trends in both March of last year and March of 2019, seeing what items were more popular during one year versus the other. It could help to take the popular items from both Marches into account if you're a seller who's figuring out what to list during the third month of 2021. For one thing, household products were about 66% more popular with our readers in March 2020 compared to March 2019, and food and drink items rose in popularity by 30% from 2019 to 2020. You could chalk up those increases to the pandemic as people stayed in and stocked up on staples. But eMarketer projected that online grocery sales would go up almost 53% in 2020, so there's a good chance consumers may hold on to these e-commerce buying habits in the future. One category that was popular in March 2020, but not as popular as it was in March 2019, is home improvement supplies. Home improvement was the number one product category with our readers in March of 2019, in fact. And there's a chance it could come out on top again in March 2021. Popular items that month included a door reinforcement lock, washing machine cleaner, super glue, fairy string lights, and weather stripping. Another interesting case is kitchen and dining products. This category ranked among the top 5 most popular with our readers in March 2019, but didn't make it into our top 10 in March of the last year. So, what items were people drawn to in March of 2019? Woven wood salad bowls were a biggie, as were 2 packs of pan scrapers, silicone baking mats, and a 12-piece set of dinner spoons. Clothing and accessories is the second product category that made it into the top 10 most popular list for 2019, but not 2020. These items were more than twice as popular with our readers in March 2019 versus March 2020. Trending items were accessories, for the most part, and included hats, scarves, wallets, and men's belts. Perhaps shoppers weren't as focused on buying clothes this past March as they were on household items, but who knows if that will hold true for this year. March 2020 did have 2 top 10 categories that failed to show up in March 2019's top 10, pet supplies and home items. Pet products barely made the top 20 in March of 2019 and were about twice as popular with our readers last year. Could this be more of the pandemic effect, as people stayed home with pets more and dog adoptions increased? Now that we've compared March 2019 and March 2020 shopping trends, let's move on to 2021. More specifically, what should you not sell in March of this year? Not every item is a stellar seller in March, after all. We expect consumers to purchase more of the following products later in 2021 based on DealNews shopping trends. So, if you're trying to decide on items to list, you may want to wait on these. One item that would be better to sell later is kitchen supplies. We expect kitchen items to be big sellers come May. Products that were popular with our readers in May 2020 included measuring cups, bakeware, kitchen sponges, and storage containers. Another thing you might want to wait to sell is lawn and garden products. May brings temperatures in much of the country that invite people outdoors. It's no wonder then that lawn and garden items were more popular with our readers in May 2020 than in March, and they trended up even more in June. Top-selling products revolved around lawn care and insect control. They ranged from grass seed and lawn fungicide to backyard bug control spray and ant killer. Indoor plant food was also popular for folks focused on their indoor foliage. Now let's talk about the final type of item we recommend selling later, which is sports and fitness products. Once summer went into full swing last year, sports and fitness items turned into one of our most popular product categories. We expect stuff for staying entertained and in shape to be popular in June 2021 as well. Products that our readers went for last June include jump ropes, grip strength trainers, and playing cards. That's all for this edition of the Deal News Seller's Guide. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss a new one. And if you want to learn how you can turbocharge your marketplace revenue and gain access to the exclusive Deal News Traffic Network, head to advertise.dealnews.com or send an email to advertise@dealnews.com. Thanks for listening.